Too many times in card tricks, we're doing something and we're not getting anything back. We're just giving, giving, giving. Well, in this card trick, guess what? You're going to be able to get something back. You're finally going to be able to get something in return for what is otherwise free entertainment. So here's the trick that you're going to do. You're going to take a bunch of cards here, and you're going to have the participant mix them and shuffle them until they've gotten their dirty, disgusting DNA all over your playing cards. At this point, you're going to offer a little bit of a bet. You're going to have them look at these cards and think of whichever card they want. Let's say they happen to think of the Jack of Hearts. And here's the bet. I'm going to show you the cards one at a time and place them on the table just like this. And you, if you see the card you're thinking of, you're going to slap your hand on top of that card and keep it there. Now, here's the bet. I think that I'm going to beat you to it, even though you're thinking of the card and I don't know what it is. So if I happen to win the bet, well, then you have to make out with me in the back room of a Denny's in rural Mississippi. Now, if you slap your hand on your card before I do, then I have to make out with the executive chef at the Waffle House until he starts leaking. So then let's begin. Let's begin this wondrous bet because I'm really wanting to make out with someone. So here we have the 6 of spades. 6 of spades. No? Okay. All right. Almost. Really felt like something was happening there. Right? 3 of diamonds. 3 of diamonds. No? Okay. All right. Well, this is definitely a lot harder than I thought it would be. 7 of diamonds. Okay. 7 of diamonds. Nope. Okay. All right. That's fine. And then we have the 7 of spades. No? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Really thought it was that one. The next card is the Jack of Hearts. Jack of Hearts. And of course, the participant slaps their hand on the Jack of Hearts. They slap it. They slap it harder than an executive chef working hard to make those pancakes in the back of a Waffle House. And really, you find out he's just making love to the sous chef. The sous chef. Now remember, the participant has their dirty, disgusting hand underneath the card because they think they won. At this point, you show the rest of the cards and you go, oh boy, I guess you really won this. Go ahead, take your prize, make sure you did win. And the participant sees the card and it's the 5 of spades. What? They show the rest of the cards and their card is gone. Because believe it or not, inside the pocket of the performer is 1 card and 1 card alone. That's right, the Jack of Hearts. And now, well, guess what? Much like the name suggests, you have to come with me. Crazy stuff, right? That's a crazy trick, and it requires just one simple move in the glide. This is an elementary move. This is something that everybody learns once they first start their introduction in magic, and guess what? You probably know because you're a member of the PigCake Magic Academy. That's right, the PigCake Magic Academy. $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card stuff, coin stuff. You get access to over 1,000 videos. What's stopping you? As a matter of fact, you get access to the piggybacker tier, which is 2 additional videos that I don't post anywhere else. That brings a grand total of every single week you getting 4 videos. 4 videos. What? You can't even handle that. You can't watch all the content that's there. But you might as well try. So go ahead, check it out, the PigCake Magic Academy, $5 a month. Let's make sure we get Piggy to the top of the subscription magic echelon. Your boy doesn't want to be on the bottom. I want to go to the top. So you could help me out by joining the PigCake Magic Academy today. So the trick is very, very simple to do. You just have the spectator or participant cut a small packet of cards and you have them think of whichever card they want in the packet. That's it. So they're going to think of one of these cards. And here they could shuffle, they can mix. It really doesn't matter because we're going to be using the glide. Now the glide is an ancient technique where you're not really taking the bottom card. You're really taking the second to bottom card. So in this case right now, the participant would think that I'm putting down the 7 of clubs, but really I'm putting down that 3. I'm putting down the 3 that was directly underneath. So let's go over how to do that. All you're doing is you're holding the cards like this at the fingertips, and you're just going to squeeze with your middle finger and your ring finger. You're just going to squeeze until you see a tiny sliver of the card up here, and that's what you're going to grab instead of the actual card the participant thinks you're going to place on a table. So when you do that, it's going to look like this. So they think that's the card that was on the bottom. Really, it's over here because that card is pressed down a little bit. Now, of course, you're going to square this up with your finger so that now you could repeat the move and do the exact same action again. So we're going to be doing that until the participant slaps their hand. Now, it's very important that when you actually carry out the actions of the bet, you tell them to slap their hand on their card and not to move their hand. So they keep the hand on the card because you don't want them turning the card over. You just want their hand to be there to give you enough time to do the dirty work. So at this point, what's going to happen is you're just mixing up the cards. Let's say they're thinking of, in this case, the Jack of Hearts. It doesn't matter. That card is mixed. We're going to show them the cards one at a time. And as we show them, we're actually going to glide the card. So we don't necessarily know what the card is, but we are going to glide it each and every single time until the participant slaps their hand on the card. So right now they think that I've placed the 3 of hearts on the table. Really, I've placed the 7 of clubs. So at this point, all we're going to do is we're just going to do glides in succession until they slap their hand on the actual card itself. Now, there is a possibility that the first card that you glide, in this case, it would be the card underneath, is going to be their card. And we'll talk about that later on. But for now, we show them the card. We're going to turn it over. We're going to do the glide. So we're going to show them. We're going to say 7 of clubs. We do the glide. We turn that card face down. We deal it on the table. And we wait for an action. If they don't do an action, that's fine. We just take the next card from the top, place it on the bottom, and do the exact same thing again. Queen of spades. Nope, wasn't your card either? Okay, all right. So all we're doing here is a series of glides until we see the participant's card, or until they see it rather. So at this point, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to glide that card, apparently placing it, and they're going to slap their hand on top of that card. Now at this point, all you have to do is score it up, and you have this card at your disposition. So you have this card in the bottom of the deck where you could do anything that you want. One thing that I suggest is that while the participant is distracted, you're just going to take this card and palm it in the right hand. Now you have all the misdirection in the world because they're focused on this little packet. They think they won. And now guess what? You have to make out the executive chef at the Waffle House. Me personally, I like doing this little technique where I just use my fingers to squeeze the card, separating it from the rest of the packet. And now in the action of taking the deck in the other hand, I could get this in a gambler's flat palm on the table, which is actually going to be interesting because it still keeps up with the bet. And I'm doing this as I turn these cards over and spread them to show that their card is actually not there and that everything is on the up and up. Now at this point, a participant could look under the hand and they see that there isn't any other card because it turns out you won the bet when you show the card's actually been under your hand for relatively the entire time. And of course, you win the bet, and now you get to go to the back room of a Denny's. But that's one possibility. So if you remember, if the participant's card is second from the bottom as you do the glide, so you deal the card on the table, and they go through the entire procedure without saying that they see their card, well, at this point, their card is going to be on the bottom of the stack. So they're going to go, wait a second, I didn't see my card. And here you're going to have to make something up. You're going to have to take that card, maybe sneak it into your pocket as you go, you're right, I tried to cheat you. But you get an effect nevertheless because you still managed to find the card that they were thinking of. Now, this is kind of the worst case scenario because you are going through all the cards. So a way around this that I suggest is when you first have the spectator think of one of these cards, you're going to spread through most of them apart from the last couple. As a matter of fact, so you don't want to spread through the last couple. You just want to have them think of one of these cards in the middle. And then all you would have to do is just shuffle those cards to the bottom of the stack. You will just have to make sure that you're the one holding onto the cards, having the participant think of one, and then shuffling those cards to the bottom. So now you get a couple freebies. You could turn these cards down, you could deal them on the table, and show them to the participant, while at the same time knowing that none of these cards are potentially the participant's card. Now, there is a possibility that the card could be on top of the deck at the end of the procedure. And the way that you prevent this is that before you begin, you spread through the cards and make sure to tell the participant, you don't see the card near the bottom, do you? And if they say no, you go, great, because those are going to be the ones that are going to end up on top of the deck. So that way, you remove the possibility of their card being on top because you know their card is one of these. So that's just a way of preventing it so that you don't end up with the awkward scenario of having one of their cards be on top of the deck, which leaves you in a lot better position than having 3 cards and having to figure out what you're going to do. So that's just a possibility, and you could remove it by just showing the cards to the participants saying, you don't see the card near the bottom, do you? All right, perfect. And if they do, then you just shuffle the cards and make sure that their card is somewhere near the top so that those are the cards that you keep putting to the bottom and doing the actual glide technique with. So just a little bit of a tip there at the end of the trick. Talk about some heat, right? That's what we call in the business some heat. But that's the trick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being on the channel. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed already, you guys subscribe, because if not, you're missing out on some crazy content. Backlog of so many videos on the channel. I don't know what to do now, I guess. ordered some protein bars from Amazon. I realized when you order something that melts, it's going to melt. So I did that to myself again. So now I reordered the same protein bars that I previously got that were melty when I got them. So now I'm gonna have to put them in the freezer once I get them. But here's the problem. It's gonna freeze the previously melted chocolate. So now I'm gonna have this bar that looks like, well, honestly, somebody's bowel movement. So